Yes. We'll start with Shanti Patha.
Yes, yes.
Om Sham no Mitra Sham Varunah Sham no Bhavatvaryama Sham na Indro Brihaspatihi Sham no Vishnurukramah Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Rutam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tatvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. How are things going?
Things are okay, Tejasvi.
And what about last class? Have you gone through once again?
I didn't get time, Tejasvi.
Okay. uh, how do you proceed further if you don't recap?
I will do that. मैं करना है मुझे, but
Yes. So
it's well known.
in 7 days, you did not get 1 hour time again?
No, it's not that case. मतलब, yeah, I think obviously time तो निकल सकता था, but
Mm.
I just use that time for other things. Yeah.
Yes. Pursuits. All you can do many things. Thing is, you need to allocate. The division of time is important.
Yeah.
What we did last class was introduction to Kundalini Shastra.
Yeah.
About chakras, nadis. We just touched upon the their elements. So we'll wait for 10 minutes for Miraji, is it? Let's give 10 minutes.
Let's give her 10 minutes. Yeah.
In the meantime, you can ask any other questions in general discussions. QA session.
Yeah, I think there's one question that is personal to me, which is that I feel that I'm getting very
Wait, then we'll
close.
pause the recording.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. So Miraji is also present now. The class is full with attendance.
Full attendance.
Miraji, we have done the Shanti Pata on behalf of you also.
Thank you.
So, any doubts from the last class? Any questions?
No.
No questions. Questions इसलिए नहीं है, पूरा समझ में आया या कुछ याद नहीं है इसलिए नहीं?
मतलब काफी सारा समझ में आया।
हाँ, वेरी गुड।
पर क्वेश्चन निकालने का काम अर्जित का है। इनकी एनालिटिक बुद्धि उतना काम करती है, मेरी तो सिर्फ सरेंडर है, जो बता दिया ठीक है।
Okay, then we'll continue. I have given you the text of Master K also. The first parts are introductory parts, and later on he'll go to the chakras and stuff. We'll go in the reverse way, because anyway we started. We'll understand little more details about this pranas, vayus, nadis, chakras, and this stuff. Basically, what we are dealing is like understanding the glossary, because each term, if we understand, the Shastra will be understood better in future. Because we use, until now, most of us in our daily life, we are used to the terms in Vedas and Puranas, like Devata or Vigraha, Puja, Pushpa, Phal, ye sab we know. But the Tantric side, we usually do not. They're very rare. We don't speak of Anahata Chakra just like we speak of, love or anything, right? The Tattva is different from the chakras. So we'll have to deal with it in precise way. First, we'll revisit our topic of the layers of existence we have. We taught it in Yoga Shastra. When we were doing Yoga Sutras, we did. But according to Tantra Vidya, there are little more layers added. We can call this layers of existence. We have 7 layers. In yoga, we did 5 layers. Do you remember the 5 layers? One is Annamaya. Arjit, you
Annamaya.
get English translation.
Annamaya
What was
kosha
Annamaya? Annamaya was
physical
relating to
food.
physical, correct. Then we have Pranamaya relating to
energy.
life, or you can say energy. Then Manomaya relating to the mind principle. Then Vijnanamaya, Vijnanamaya relating to Buddhi. And finally, Anandamaya relating to bliss or verily ourselves, right? And 2 more are added, which are in between here. Between prana and mano, you get what is known as linga sharira. Pranamaya, linga sharira, manomaya, gnanamaya, vijnanamaya. Between manomaya and vijnanamaya, you have gnanamaya. There are different, it's like sometimes they divide it to 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5, 6, 7, based on the same scale is divided in inches into centimeters into different units, right? So here they use different units. Here, among these, I don't think this is not much necessary for us, but Linga Sharira, it is better to understand. Linga Sharira is basically that layer in us which dies off with the body. When physical body dies, up till here, that means Linga Sharira, Annamaya and Pranamaya will vanish. These 3 layers will be carried on to the next life. Okay. So Linga means, the Shiva Linga, right? That's where we say it's not gender, but Linga means it is of the form of an oval or something. Basically, to suggest it is, you can say, in pressing mints of coins, you have a namuna. In Hindi, we say namuna, right? Based on which the rest of the things are made, the rest of the coins and the notes. So Linga Sharira has all the details. It is like a seed. Like from a seed comes a tree. So from the information in the Linga Sharira, your Pranamaya and Annamaya koshas are distributed. So it is here that your chakras, etc., will exist in this body. Because chakras are not transferred to the next life. You'll have another physical body and another set of chakras or something. But these chakras being in between the bottom 3 layers and the top 2 layers, they carry over instructions of the top 3 layers and send to the bottom 2 layers. They are like the gateway or interface. Like when we connect the USB to the computer, right? The interface helps us to connect our mouse to the computer or computer to the mouse. It gives us feedback. So like that, it acts like an interface. That is called the Linga Sharira. This is basically the essence of the koshas. Now, how many chakra? We did not say about anything about chakras. We'll start enumerating the chakras now.
सर नेक्स्ट लाइफ में आपने क्या बताया, एक लिंग शरीर और जाता है और
पूरा अन्नमय चले जाता है, प्राणमय चले जाता मैंने खत्म हो जाता है, प्राणमय खत्म हो जाता है, लिंग भी खत्म हो जाता है.
What carries on?
मनोमय, विज्ञानमय, आनंदमय is verily ourselves, विज्ञानमय is our buddhi. Over that mind, basically whatever we call as hell and heaven. Okay.
तो ये लास्ट 2 जाते हैं साथ में.
Whatever you call as hell and heaven, We exist like a dot, let's say, over which is our buddhi, over which is our, this is Anandamaya, Buddhimaya or Vijnanamaya, and this is Manomaya. Here, there are ripples of what we have experienced in this life and past life. So when the other layers, which are physical and the vital layers are gone, just they vanish, this is what we are suspended in the space. Now this mind, it gathers all the memories. It first gathers bad
सर
memories.
चित्त कौन सा है फिर इसमें?
This mind.
Mind.
Chittam means consciousness. Chitta vritti means the ripples in the mind. So mind without ripples is verily the consciousness. हम योग शास्त्र में पढ़ा कि अगर चित्तवृत्ति नहीं है, मन करके कुछ, like when there are no ripples in a very purest clean water, you don't see water at all. You see what is underneath it. There is no separate entity. So sometimes these three layers only, other than Anandamaya, this mind and buddhi are also called as Antakarna Chatushtaya. Manas, Buddhi, Chittam and Ahankaram, they say. So these are finer divisions. Mind itself acts like this. It has a mind of which is going outward, like sensual mind. Then it has a processing mind, which is like buddhi and intellect, intelligence, etc. It has chittam, which is like मैं जानता हूं कि मैं हूं, right? Thus the what do you call consciousness, हम consciousness बोलते हैं. Ahankaram is ego. Ego means the base of the मैं जानता हूं मैं हूं when I am awake. मैं हूं even when I am asleep. अगर अहंकारा नहीं है, हम sleep में नहीं रहेंगे. Because there should be one person entity inside when we were asleep, which is making or carrying out the functions like digestion, heartbeat, breathing. ये सारे functions carry out करने के लिए एक चाहिए हमको. That is our ahankara. But the ahankara is, ego doesn't mean ego problem wala ego here. Here this ahankara is symbolical in Puranas to Daksha. हम जो दक्ष प्रजापति बोलते हैं, he is this ego person. So he thought he wanted to create the creation or the body of his own accord without the Ishvara or the Lord. That was the story of Daksha Yajna. One day we will talk about it. So that is the ahankara. From ahankara comes chitta, means base of your intellect and mind का जो base होता है, ये अहंकारा से वो चित्तम आता है. ये चित्तम में बुद्धि और माइंड दोनों एक्ट करते हैं. बुद्धि एक फैकल्टी है जो डिस्क्रिमिनेट करके बोलती है हमको कि दिस इज गुड, दिस इज बैड, ये चूज करो, ये मत चूज करो. But mind is basically transport. Basically, it is what is experiencing everything. Agar if I am tasting a sweet sugar on my tongue, neither tongue experiences sweet nor sugar experiences sweet of its own. But there is something which resides in the tongue at that moment experiencing. But while I'm eating, if I'm watching a movie, my tongue nor my mind is experiencing what I'm eating. My mind is on the movie. So unless mind comes to a sense, it does. So the experiencer in us, the enjoyer in us, or the worrier in us is this mind or manas. Right? So when we are in fighting or when we are dull in life, when you are happy in life, it is this mind that is experiencing all these things. But when we want suggestions in those hardships or happiness, like हम बहुत खुशी हुआ और हम we forgot what is there on the road and we are running on the road. That is where buddhi will come and tell, hey, be careful, there are buses coming. Even in that state of experiencing, something is warning you. So it is, if mind is the lowest, buddhi will be beyond it. But for buddhi to work, माने चित्तम करके एक कॉन्शियसनेस, एक abundance of consciousness होना चाहिए. माने मंद बुद्धि जो होते हैं, हम जो बोलते हैं मंद बुद्धि, इसका मतलब बुद्धि इस्तेमाल नहीं करते, उनका चित्त is of, basically it is lacking, it is in the dormant state, it is not active. माने चित्त वृत्ति जो हम योग सूत्र में बोला, बहुत सारे वृत्ति होके लेयर्स आके इनर्शिया बहुत हो गया उसमें. We need to remove that. Then ahankara, this is basically your own self. Aham. I think I told you about aham, right? Aham means I am. That is called aham. Aham also is related to Soham. Why? Remember your Soham meditation? Soham can be broken as Saha plus Aham. Saha means he, Aham means I. He is verily I. So unless we have this Ahamkara, I agree. But unless you correlate with Soham that everything outside you is also inside you, you won't enter into this Anandamaya Kosha. You will be staying at Buddhimaya, Vijnanamaya Kosha only. Now in all these, because you asked, I explained the other enumerations. But broadly speaking, we have Ananda, Vijnana and Mano. So when the body is left, the impressions in this mind, what we call as vrittis, the memories, smriti, we have learned about smriti, right? The smritis bring about first evil qualities and second good qualities. Evil माने हमारा life में हम जो भी evil किया or we have experienced it, what we intended to the others, we will start repenting. Why first evil? In any white paper, if I put a small black dot, our concentration goes to the black dot. In the same, why we have that mentality? Because the nature has put that first we experience the bad, only when the bad ripples have been experienced in their own time scales, then the good we start experiencing. That experiencing bad is called hell, experiencing this good is called heaven. Swarga, Naraka is this. So what all we are experiencing are symbolically portrayed as frying in the oil pan or apsaras are coming and dancing in front of us. They're symbolical metaphors to suggest the magnitude of our experiences. Now, naturally, the ideal goal is to neither heaven nor hell. We need to go to the Yamaloka. Remember Kathopanishad. Yeah. Yama is not Lord of only hell or heaven. He is Lord beyond these two. He is the one who limits, he is the one who sets us free. So we want to go beyond the limitations and go into the freedom. That means the whole goal of any Shastra is to nullify these impressions. ये impressions nullify होने से ये crystal clear होके that will vanish. That vanishes, only Vijnanamaya exists. Vijnanamaya as such has no impressions on its own. Therefore, Anandamaya, Vijnanamaya combinedly is what our being will be. This is what is called by Madam Blavatsky as monad. Monad का मतलब ये है आत्मा प्लस बुद्धि होती है. इसको बोलते हैं आत्मा प्लस बुद्धि. That is what many people in our culture, in our tradition, we say Atma is going from one body to the other, right? But that is wrong to be in terms of precision of science. Why? If Atma goes, if I'm saying, that means I'm encapsulating Atma in something. But Atma has no form. Atma is equal to Paramatma. What do I mean by Atma going into another body? Atma enwrapped in Buddhi. That means a layer should be enwrapping it. Then I'm carrying it somewhere. For example, if I have a nothing in my hand, if I move my hand, I'm actually not taking anything. But if I have a bottle, close the lid, then take the bottle there. The space confined in the bottle is being moved in the space. It seems apparently that we are moving the space, even though that is not happening. But as far as our relative understanding goes, we have moved the bottle of space from here to here. What is that bottle? That bottle is a layer of Buddhi. Therefore, Atma Buddhi is what goes. Why? These layers would have been perished slowly over a period of time once we leave the body, and then it takes the body based on the resultant impression. वो resultant impression is what we call as karma. उसी को हम कर्मा बोलते हैं. कर्मा के हिसाब से we are attracted to appropriate environment. This is the whole story or gamut of life to afterlife. Any questions? Arjit.
नहीं, ये तो समझ में आ गया जो आपने बताया.
Now, one process was Yoga Sutras, where we were dealing with mind and all. In doing so, what actually happens inside our body, that is what is told by the Kundalini, this yoga, and we are going to connect the dots now. Shall I move forward? Coming to the physical body, physical So let us take the 3 bodies. Physical body is called, tell me if the Hindi is right, is Sthula.
Right.
Okay. And subtle body is called
Sukshma.
Sukshma. In subtle body, you have 2 layers, Sukshmatara, Sukshmatama. Finer divisions. Let us just consider these 2 with, of course, mind in between. Mind ruling both the subtle and the physical bodies. Remember, subtle body is this and physical body is this. Based on part of subtle body only, physical body is formed. That means subtle body extends beyond the physical body. Just like when you take up a magnet, how are the lines of force? This is north, this is south. This is what physics tells us. So where is the reach of the magnet? Even beyond the body of the magnet. What are these lines of force? No one knows. Till date, no scientist can give us explanation as to what these lines of force are. They exist, yes, we agree. How to deal with it? If I leave a small magnet, it will go in this part, etc., etc. We'll explain about everything. But what is it in space? We don't know. If we actually dissect the magnet in a laboratory, we don't see these lines of forces. How to see the lines of forces exist? You take a paper, you take a small magnet, you sprinkle the iron dust. Ajit, you're there?
Yeah, I joined to my
I
phone.
thought अदृश्य शक्ति मिल गया है तेरे को। हम सिद्धि के बारे में फिर बात ही नहीं किया और सिद्धि मिल गए। So when you put the iron dust particles, what happens? Slowly they form into the shapes. I'll show you the diagram. I have accumulated some pictures. So this is how the iron dust particles allocate. Now, who told the matter to orient like this? How is matter orienting exactly in this particular format? That means the magnet is not just this, the magnet is along with it subtle body. The physical body is the matter that we are seeing as a red magnet there, but there is a subtle body because other particles are being, you can say accumulated in only along the lines that the subtle body is. Now you understand this as our physical body, then we'll see that if our physical body is like this, it has its own lines of force in a particular way. So when our being is formed, when basically the mother eats the food, from the food, the matter is being sucked inside to the zygote, right? The unicellular organism which is slowly forming. That when it is becoming a baby, the matter weaves around it, accumulates around it, and solidifies. That is how the physical body is formed. But only as much as the matter was accumulated, only as much as the power is there. But magnet's reach will be till infinity actually. Only we have limited matter, so limited formation happened here. If I put more dust particles still farther, some more lines will come. Magnitude reduces, but lines do come. Similarly, for us, our reach also exists beyond our physical body, which is what we experience in presence of superior gurus. As इस गुरु के साथ बहुत अच्छा लगता है. That experience we get because their reach is beyond their physical body. हमारा reach सिर्फ physical body में. माने फैमिली के हिसाब से थोड़ा फिजिकल बॉडी से बाहर है, like we would like to spend time with family. So that spending time means what? In your company presence, just how much time Zoom call can you spend? The physical presence is what also matters along with mental presence. In a Zoom, if we have 1 year or 2 years distance relationship, compare that with 2 years of साथ में relationship. There's a difference, right? Between a husband and a wife. That physical presence is as important as a mental presence. But physical presence applies its presence via the mental presence only, through the subtle channels. So this is one of the examples we can take. Another example Master EK gives, very unique example is, for example, you take beeswax. You know beeswax, right? Melt the beeswax. As it is solidifying, draw some lines on it. Okay. It seems as if no lines are drawn because it is in a melted stage. But slowly when it solidifies, those lines starts to manifest. Which means when we are in such a state, when our sperm is in the ocean, we call this in the scriptures as Bindu Saras. If you heard Mahabharata story, Mayasura built Mayasabha by bringing the element from Bindu Saras. Bindu Saras means the ocean of dots. Their dots means Bindu here means the sperms you can consider, the seeds of life. There, when it enters the womb of the mother, like when our life force or the Atma Buddhi or the monad wants to come, it has its own mental impressions. Those impressions impress onto this molten state or beeswax state of our Bindu Saras certain impressions. Based on that only we get our physical body when it solidifies in future. So this is the theory given by the occult or the Vedic seers from the past. Our body that we get, like my face is round, Arjit face is like this, someone else's face is V-shaped, or I am, let's say I am mediocre height, someone is tall, someone is short. In the same family, brother will be short, sister will be tall. Anything can happen. It is nothing to do with genes alone. If genes were alone, then everyone, twins, everyone in the same particular family should have same characteristics. But they don't. Genes is a seed for the subtle transformations to occur. Yes, genes is necessary. Just like for mind, brain is necessary. But that is not the end of the story. You have something more than what is to be given. Coming back. Until here, do you have any questions, Arjita?
Yeah, one question
Ask.
I have. तो मेरा ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग है कि जो समझ में आ रहा है कि लेट्स से इफ अ चाइल्ड इज टू बी बोर्न, तो उसकी जो प्रीवियस लाइफ की जो टेंडेंसीज हैं उनके बेसिस पे वो ग्रेविटेट करेगा उस फैमिली में या उस एनवायरनमेंट में जहाँ पे उसकी टेंडेंसीज का उसको मैच मिलता है कि जो भी अट्रैक्शन उस मोमेंट पे है. स्टिल हम देखते हैं कि एक ही फैमिली में जो बच्चे हैं उन दो बच्चों की पर्सनैलिटीज बहुत डिफरेंट हो सकती हैं, उनकी जो लाइफ ट्रेजेक्टरी है वो बहुत डिफरेंट हो सकती है. तो वो इन दैट केस हाउ इज दैट हैपनिंग कि फ्यूचर का तो किसी को नहीं पता है, दैट्स अ फंक्शन ऑफ कि आप क्या क्या लाइफ के डिसीजंस ले रहे हो. बट एक एक एनवायरनमेंट की तरफ अगर कोई अट्रैक्ट हो रहा है तो उस एनवायरनमेंट में फिर सिमिलर टेंडेंसीज और सिमिलर बुद्धि और सिमिलर आउटवर्ड जो भी कुछ चीज है, सिमिलर सिमिलर पर्सनैलिटीज क्यों नहीं आ रही है सेम ही फैमिली में एज चिल्ड्रन?
The reason is what you think as similar is not similar to the Atma or Buddhi. You might think Lad Karna is similarity. That means loving the children. Okay? But for Atma Buddhi, that may not be the similarity. उसके लिए क्या चाहिए? एक आत्मा के लिए, like for example, when you have two children, based on the characteristics or whatever, one parent has, let's say, liking to other, one parent has liking to this. This dissimilarity exists in the minds of the parents already. Therefore, dissimilar souls are being attracted. Agar, for example, if the wife and husband are in one state, माने उनका minds are such a way, जैसे ऋषि लोग और ऋषि पत्नी लोग होते थे ना, वैसा अगर है, then all the progeny will become the rishis only. Because we have diversity in the mindset of husband and wife, which itself creates a diversity. तू सोच रहा है कि सिमिलैरिटी है, मैं बोल रहा हूँ सिमिलैरिटी नहीं है, बिकॉज वी आर नॉट इन द योगा स्टेट. योगा स्टेट में ही सिमिलैरिटीज होता है. वियोगा स्टेट में क्या सिमिलैरिटीज होता है? देयर विल बी ऑलवेज डिस्क्रिपेंसीज. एंड ऑल्सो एज टाइम इवॉल्व्स, you are seeing only at this moment in this year, this is the scenario of the parents, therefore this is how the progeny should be, is what you are claiming. नेचर क्या देखती है? इन लोगों का मनस में बीज क्या है, वो बीज कौन सा वृक्ष में फैलाती, How will it evolve into what kinds of trees in 20 years from now? उस trees का shade जिस soul को चाहिए उस soul उधर पड़े देती है. माने right now when I am at this beside a plant or a small crop, a person outside might think, why is he standing there? He might not have any shade. But 10 years from now, I will have a shade there. In this time, I need to face that hardship of waiting, patience. So ये सब सिखाने के लिए 2 or 3 different souls are attracted to that family where you find dissimilarity. Purpose is being solved there. In that dissimilarity, only purpose is solved. समझ में आया?
आया, थोड़ा थोड़ा आया.
So think in terms of potential. माने potential. हाँ मीरा जी बोलिए.
सर चित्त के कारण भी तो डिफरेंसेस होता होगा.
चित्त क्या डिफरेंसेस?
जो वो अपने कर्म वगैरह लेके आया है उसके कारण भी तो बस
karma is associated to chitta because this is called karma yoga, this is called jnana yoga, and both are cyclical. माने the action that you do affects the chitta, affected chitta does the action. So what you bring with you is not karma. Karma is physical, right? What you bring with you is the tendencies.
जी.
But when you with your willpower, you can refine through your actions the chitta, then वो purification होता, नहीं तो नहीं होगा.
इन जन्म के समय जो डिफरेंसेस जैसे ट्विंस में भी होते हैं तो वो इस चित्त के कारण तो होता होगा जो इंप्रेशन चित्त के साथ
इंप्रेशन चित्त के हिसाब से वही तो बोला था हम प्रीवियस स्लाइड में. कहा है इंप्रेशन सारे एग्जिस्ट इन द मेंटल प्लेन चित्तम. हियर इज द चित्तम, राइट? So that is a mind body. All this अंतःकरण चतुष्टयम we called a single word called mental plane, mind. उधर ही होता है इंप्रेशन सारे. Because of those impressions only light from inside is not able to reach outside. मारे हमारा जो भगवान अंदर है करके कोई बोलते हैं, we are unable to see the Bhagavan because of this, because mind is here. Here we means mind actually, not inside one, because हम बात करते हैं माइंड के प्लेन से. हम दुखी होते हैं, खुशी होते हैं, जो भी करते हैं माइंड के प्लेन से ही हम एग्जिस्ट करते हैं. So we carry over these impressions. Or impressions, for example, I have, let us say person A has waged a war and he selfishly, he could have let the enemy go because he was defeated. Still he cut the head or hand or something he did. That impression exists in him as the karma. Now, next time when he takes the body, his limbs will be amputated. Why? Because of that impression, when that meets that बिंदु सरस, नो वो लाइन्स हम बी वैक्स का एग्जांपल दिया, उसमें वैसा ही इंप्रेशन आता है कि क्योंकि ये एक्ट इज ऑलरेडी देयर एंड ही नोस ही हैज डन समथिंग रॉन्ग. माने बिकॉज ही हैज ए चॉइस टू लीव देयर, ही नोस ही हैज ए चॉइस. अगर कोई शास्त्र पढ़ के राजा बनता है, ही नोस व्हाट टू डू एंड व्हाट नॉट टू डू. व्हेन दे गो अगेंस्ट देयर नॉलेज बिकॉज टू सैटिस्फाई देयर अरिषड वर्गास, राइट, द काम क्रोध लोभ मोह मद मात्सर्यास, then the impressions get attached to the karma, and that karma will affect the body and also the mind and also the environment, everything there. That is the law of nature. You do something good in this life, you feed 100 people, but if you are selfish, nothing, no good. But you are really selflessly feeding some people, definitely you will be attracted in the next life to sumptuous family with a very good body and everything. But only not because you desire it, because you deserve it. There is a difference. Nothing happens because you desire. Everything happens only what you deserve. And वो भी उधर इतना अच्छा बॉडी क्यों दिया गया? ताकि हमारा माइंडसेट से और अच्छा प्रैक्टिसेस करके और लोगों को मदद करने के लिए. Not again to lavishly eat all the cakes and cupcakes and pizzas because we have a healthy body. फिर next life बर्बाद. Of course, that is how our life is going to be. The moment we rise to a position, the dark forces come and try to push us down. This is what we'll also see in the Kundalini yoga. As the Kundalini starts to rise, temptations occur and we fall down. So the lower triangle is a dangerous one. We have to reach the upper triangle. That's what we'll see as our lessons go. Question answered? Okay. Now, if you can then imagine, I will show you the diagrams only. This is how the main three nadis are in our body. What were the three nadis I told yesterday? Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. Sushumna exists. In fact, Sushumna's existence is very interesting. You have a spinal column. In that, there is a very thin canal called Brahmarandra. In that, there are names. One. Basically, there is Brahma, then Chitrini, then Kuhu, and then there is Sushumna. That means canal inside a canal inside a canal inside a canal. So how does Sushumna look like? In Lalita Sahasranama, we have a name. Bisa Tantu Taniyasi. That means Bisa Tantu. Bisa Tantu means if you ever seen a lotus, what do you call? From which the lotus comes. You know, they make fabric of lotus fiber. Have you ever seen it? How thin that fabric is? That fabric looks like a hairline thin. It is thinner than a hair. So that is the size of the Sushumna. But not in physical, it's in the subtle form. That is what they describe. You should not think Sushumna is this big and flowing Kundalini is there. So it is so thin. In Lalita Sahasranama, that is what they are saying. The Kundalini Swarupa is of as thin as very thin stalk of lotus stalk. We call it lotus stalk. Very thin fabric. So that is the Sushumna. This Sushumnas, if we are this to the right of this Sushumna, is Ida, and the left is Pingala, if I'm not wrong. Where is this? Yeah, at the root, if you see, they're one and the same. Again, at the bro center, they're one and the same. So right side is Pingala, my bad. Right side is Pingala. This is right, and this is left. So what happens? These nadis are separate nadis compared to Sushumna. One channel carries the life energy, which is called Agni or the fire element. So Sushumna carries the fire. Fire means what? Here fire doesn't mean the flame. Here fire means you can consider it as gateway between physical and non-physical. हम अग्नि में हवन करते, right? What does Agni do? What is we imply Agni doing? It takes the matter from us and gives those things to the gods. That's the implication. So it acts as a gateway between the physical and the non-physical in our body, this Sushumna. Now, Ida or Ida, you can call it Ila or Ida. Both are correct. La, da, both are sounding same sounds in the Veda and Tantra. This is of moon nature. We call it Chandranadi. What is moon responsible for? I don't know if I ever mentioned. I think we have talked about these things. I'll repeat as usual. Moon reflects the sunlight and gives to the earth. It is not a direct sunlight. The reflection is a principle of mind. And based on the mind, physical body is formed. That's what we have just understood. In the Vedic parlance, from the sun, those who come directly are called Devas. From the moon, who reflected and come are called Pitrudevas. Pitrudevas are responsible for the bodily formations and reproduction. Solar Devas are Suryavamsha. Those are Chandravamsha. Pitrudevas or Chandravamsha, you can call, coming from the moon. coming from the sun or Surya Vamsha, they are responsible for the buildings of Atma and Buddhi inside us. Therefore, the Pingala Nadi governs the mind, body, and reproductory aspects of our body, whereas the Pingala Nadi, which is of solar nature, which is called Surya Nadi, governs the Buddhi and our soul aspects. The support for all this mechanism to occur is Kundalini. If Sushumna is damaged, no Pida, no Pingala, nothing will work. So Sushumna is a fire that makes this transformations from subtle to gross, gross to subtle happen in a particular way inside us. It is inside this, the fire of Kundalini. Actually, Kundalini travels through all the channels. But the main essence of Kundalini is to be not from Ida, not from Pingala, but from the central Sushumna. Only then the balance exists. Otherwise, you will get an imbalance. This is why in Ayurveda also, suppose when our right eye is paining or left eye is paining, the medicines differ. Even though it is an eye pain, even if, let's say, if our right eye gets certain rashes or left eye gets certain rash, the medicines will change because left eye getting certain rash implies your Chandra Nadi or your cooling aspect is troubled. Because of less cooling, the heat is gathering there. But if your right Nadi or right eye is affected, then the Surya Nadi is misbehaving. It is creating excess heat, imbalance due to Surya Nadi. So your medicines will change. In practice terms, by mistake, if you activate one of these extra, either too much cooling or too much heating effects happen in the body. So you need a balance, which is Sushumna. This is the theme of Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna Nadis. Any questions here? Arjit?
No questions.
So how these balances are occurring, that is where they say, right? From left nostril you breathe, right nostril you exhale. Even though those are not as per the, you're forcing things, but when things are in balance from the left nostril and the right nostril, the breathing remains the same. Sometimes during the day you will observe. Right now, if you observe which nostril is actually more active. Breathe and see. One nostril, free flow will be there. From the other, not much free flow will be there. Again, during night time, you check. It will be alternated.
लेकिन वो तो दिन में हर घंटे पे बदलते रहता है सर.
हर घंटे बदलता है, बेस्ड ऑन एनवायरनमेंट बदलती है, बेस्ड ऑन योर ओन माइंडसेट. हम आराम से कूल है तो चंद्र नाड़ी मस्त एक्टिवेट होगा. हम एंगर है तो सूर्य नाड़ी एक्टिवेट होगा. So basically we are existing either in this or on that, but we are never in the base. Basically it is like we are in either Rajas or Tamas. Pingala Nadi is for Rajas. Ida Nadi is for Tamas. Sushumna is for Sattva. Balance. So we should exist.
Ida for Tamas. Surya Nadi for Tamas.
Pingala, Surya means Rajas. Chandra, Tamas. Because it is reflection, not activation. Chandra is radiation. It is active on its own. Therefore, Rajas. Sushumna is balancing between the both. Make sense? Not only these, but there are, I said yesterday that there are 72,000 nadis, out of which 1,000, like basically 3,300 nadis are considered as important. Some books state 1,001. Some books state these three, of course, like that. But there are symbolical for these things, especially the 3,300 has a very nice symbol. Along with, this is Tantra, right? In the Tantra, we say 3,300 nadis are the important nadis. In our Veda, we say these many devas are there. The 33 numbers keep repeating in both the styles of scriptures. Do you know what these 33 are, Arjit? I told you once, I remember. Long back, but.
Okay, 33 type of
Yes. Devas.
11. Yeah. Devas.
Basically, first stage, you have what is known as radiating gods. Radiating principle are there. Radiation means from self-emanating. They emanate. From it, everything else comes. They are called Adityas. There are 12 of them. Once the radiation comes, what does the radiation do? It has to, how does the radiation look? In our physics classes, we have seen, right? They look like these electromagnetic waves. They pierce through the space and they have to go in from sun to the earth without the medium. So we have space gods which carry over this light onto the earth. They are called space gods, which are called Rudras. They are gods of vibrations in space. They allow the vibrations or they create the pathways for the radiation to go in the form of vibration. Electromagnetic wave itself is not light. Light is a principle in the sun. From it, when it manifested, electromagnetic wave came. That itself is a vibration. It's an oscillation in nature. Any vibration is an oscillation. So these oscillations as such exist in space. They are called Rudras. They are 11 in number. Then we have materialization. The gods who materialize things by taking help of these light and the radiation. They are called Vasus. They are 8 in number. All this addition, what do we get?
31.
31 plus 2 Ashwins. At planetary level, we call these Ashwins. These Ashwins are basically for the positive and negative elements of everything in the creation. Or you can say they are the two sides of the coin, or breathing, inhalation, exhalation, like that. Every binaries in the creation are governed by these Ashwins. Put together, we get 33 in number. These 33 Devas, whomever we call, they govern our Nadi Mandala. That means they govern our body, of course. Why? In our body, we have the physical body belonging to Vasuloka. We have the mental body belonging to Rudraloka. And we have the Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya bodies, right? Belonging to Aditya Loka. So these Devas are governing our own self only again. As they govern outside, they govern inside also. Just like a central government has a PMO and others, we have a CMO, Chief Minister's Office. They have central minister, state minister, central home minister, state home minister. Correct? Similarly, cosmic gods, which are called Vishvedevas, microcosmic gods. We call them Brahmanda Devas and Pindanda Devas. Why are we learning about them? Because our Nadi Mandala full is governed by these Devas only. That means whenever you are doing puja for the Devas for something in the olden days, or if you are set to do an offering, you're not only offering to some invisible deity, you're offering to your own self inside, so that rectification may happen. So if someone asks you, if I do this puja, I'm offering to a god something there, and I'm taking the Tirtha Prasada, I'm hearing the mantras, okay. How is my ailment reducing inside me? Or why will I get married if I do this particular thing? The reasoning is this, because the same set of devas are there outside and inside, you're creating a pathway link from inside to outside that a cure or your marriage or whatever it is may happen smoothly. But this occurs only if you do the puja, not instead of if someone else does the puja. Okay. If we give in a temple some receipt, some donation, and the priest will do everything. Priest will get all the benefits, not you. For you to get the benefits, the priest actually should have the time to let you utter the mantra, let you understand what each mantra says, and let you meditate what that means. Then you will get the benefit. So from now on, if you have told you have to do puja, find such a priest who will do all these things to you. Otherwise, in marriage, there is a mantra, right? Mangalya tantuna nena mama jivana hetuna. Do you do that? Kanthe badnami shubhage tvam jiva sharadashatam. This is what we utter, and then we tie the knot basically. If priest does that instead of we, you know the meaning what it comes. He is telling that now I am tying the knot. Now we both will be together. That's what the meaning comes. So in my marriage, I asked the priest, okay, you utter and then I will utter and then I'll tie the knot. because I knew already what the meaning was. So I uttered it. So if you know, you will do it by yourself and you know what it means. So don't just blindly give away for other people to do. You have to do these things. Then there is a correlation happening. There is some connection happening with you. This is what we call as Nyasa. Nyasa Vidya. Nyasa Vidya means correspondent linking Vidya. The Vidya or the art of wisdom that helps you connect between microcosm and macrocosm. Okay? Any questions here?
No questions.
Good. In these nadis, again, there is one more classification we might want to know. Some nadis are voluntary. That means you can control them. Some nadis are involuntary. You can't control them. Some are semi-voluntary. You can control for some time, but not all. The physical process of this is manifested in voluntary means you raise your hand, you don't raise your hand. You can completely, it's in your control. Involuntary, digestion, not in your control. It is not because you say the digestion is happening. It is because digestion is happening, you are able to eat properly. And there are semi-voluntary. You can close your breath for few moments, not all. Maybe you can regulate your heart by breathing slowly for some time, but not throughout the day. They're semi-voluntary. Okay? But these, what I exemplified are from the nerves that we get. So nerve is a subset. That means a part of, is a mathematical symbol. Sorry, Miraji. I'm used to this math. What this means is, basically, if this is nadis, nerves are only certain lines that I told in the beeswax. They manifest into physical body. The others exist as impressions in the subtle body. So if we can find certain, let's say, X number of nerves by a modern science, that only means that we have still a lot more than this X in the subtle body. They are not yet manifested because our body at this moment of evolution did not require it. But as we go in spiritual evolution, new nadis may manifest and we can get new connections inside the body in the physical form, which I think I gave the example, right? Of Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa saying, if you do not speak for 12 years, a new nerve will form, which make it manifest whatever you utter. Or rather, whatever happens will be uttered through you. So such things will come. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, all these nadis are there. These are basically wiring in the house. When does the wiring work? When you have a
Electricity.
energy source. That energy source is Kundalini. And let me see if I have any diagram for it. My own diagram I have from my book Lalita Sahasranama. So, as you can see, here somewhere in this region, okay, there is Kundalini. Kundalini means the storehouse of energy. What is it represented? I told you as? Last time I told you?
Earth.
Sarpa, the snake.
Yes.
Last time we have discussed about Sarpa,
Yes,
Naga
yes.
and everything.
Hooded,
Correct?
sir. Yeah.
Yes, hooded serpent. And usually in Veda, we represent him as Vishnu sleeping like this under a hooded serpent. But that hooded serpent will have exactly 3 coils. Yeah. And a tail will be there, small tail, which is for the half. So 3.5 is the cycle. But in Tantra, it is shown in a different way. Let me show you that. Yes. I will forward these pictures. Can you see the serpent inside? Let me zoom in. That is how it is shown. So that linga there is basically, you can consider this as the Shiva. The hooded serpent here is the Shakti. So they both are inseparable. Right now, the face is downwards. Okay. But this here is Jiva. Jiva means limited consciousness, and this is the limited power. There is a counterpart to this in the head center, which is not Jiva, but Paramatma, or you can call him the ultimate consciousness. In Tantra Vidya, they call, actually that they call as Shiva. This they call as Shakti. So Shakti goes and unites with Shiva. When she unites, they start their cosmic dance or Natya. That is what showers as the bliss, and that is what we experience as the happiness. Okay. About this symbolism, I already told you about a mineral, plant, and animal kingdom evolutions. And right now we are in the human, which we need to evolve much further. At the base of the spinal column, now let's go back to the old picture once. What can you see? You have 6 centers. These 6 centers are named as follows. First one at the bottommost is Mooladhara. You can write down if you want. Mooladhara means it is called the base center. Moola means base. It is base of everything. It supports everything. What does this chakra do? What these chakras do, we'll deal it in the next class. But today we'll discuss in brief what these are. So Mooladhara chakra is the first chakra or the center. By the way, my diagram shows it is this big, but in what way do they exist? Remember the Bindu Saras? They exist only as dots, that too not physical dots, subtle dots in the subtle body. In Tantra Vidya, have you ever seen the Sri Chakra? So Sri Chakra looks like this. In the Sri Chakra, the centermost point, whatever you are seeing there, this is where Lalita or the supreme goddess resides. So Bindu is always representation of the infinite power. Even in science, when they say, how did Big Bang or this whole universe occur? From a pinhead sized, it exploded, they say. Is this not what the Sri Chakra is? From the pinhead sized dot, the whole flower of creation blossoms. And the way it blossoms, the number of triangles you see, first triangle, then 8 triangles, then 8, then 16, and then so on. It has its own theory in the Tantra, what each of this triangle mean. There are like 64 devatas, family of devas will be there of the goddess. They will all be residing in each and every part of the Sri Chakra, governing the whole creation, which is our whole body. So that is another part for another day, which is interesting again, because then you can relate Sri Chakra to your own human body. So Bindu always means powerhouse of energy. Therefore, how do these chakras exist? They exist like dots. The first dot that you encounter at the base of the spine is Mooladhara. Okay, it governs the material part of our body. If Mooladhara is damaged, you will have diseases in the physical body. All the that means accumulation of matter, your digestion. I eat something and they say vitamin loss is there. These people are not. It's very interesting, you know. When we have vitamin deficiency, doctors prescribe vitamin tablets. Is the problem vitamin deficiency, or is the problem our body unable to take vitamins from the food? Because in the same family, other people are eating same food as we are eating. Yes or no? So if I give medicine as supplement of vitamins, when will my body learn to take vitamins from the food? So in Ayurveda and homeopathy, they treat the inability for the body to take the vitamins. So automatically it will take vitamins later on. But if you use vitamin supplements, your body gets used because if you do not use teeth, let's say you only drink juices for 10 years, what happened to your teeth? There is no use for the teeth. They'll just fall off. When you bite strong foods, your teeth will stay with you. Similarly, anything in the body. So the art of giving medicine is completely in the wrong direction at present day. So I praise allopathy only for emergency care, but for all other things, I always suggest Ayurveda or homeopathy. And if we are in the EK path, definitely homeopathy. Okay. So that is about the Mooladhara. Then we have the second center called Swadhisthana. Swa-adhishta. Adhishta means what, Miraji? Adhishtha. Adhishthit.
अधिष्ठान तो निश्चय करना, डिटर्मिनेशन.
Preside. ये अधिष्ठित कर रहा है. He is presiding. माने हम एक पूजा कर रहे हैं.
अधिष्ठान लिया वो बोलते हैं.
अधिष्ठान. अधिष्ठान माने he takes over the rule. So Swa Adhishta, that means this center is self-governing in nature. This is, now by the way, Mooladhara is earthy in nature. Okay. Swadhisthana is fiery in nature. What do I mean by fiery and earthy in nature? They govern those elements or the principles of those elements in our body. We will come to that in the next class. It is fiery in nature. A caution here. Some of the Tantra Granthas have mentioned this chakra as watery and the next chakra as fiery. But based on Shankaracharya and Master EK, we take this as fiery and that as water. Which is correct, which is wrong, is a never-ending debate. We fix to one domain and we just go. That's all. Only because an experienced person alone can tell us what it is. And Shankaracharya is definitely a biggest authority in India. His Saundarya Lahari mentions Swadhisthana is fiery and Manipura is watery. And Alice Bailey, Jwalakul and Master EK, all these literatures also mention the same. So we stick to that. Is that okay, Arjit?
Yeah.
If someone, this might interest Miraji, if someone wants to do Parakaya Pravesha, that means when they hold their body in static, they enter another dead body and they animate it for some time for some purpose and they come back. This Vidya, when they proceed, it happens from this center of the body. Because the consciousness should come to the fiery element here. They have to preserve the fire of the body at this center. And then only can they escape from the body so that the body is alive for some time. Because when the consciousness goes, at least the residue energy should keep the body alive. Otherwise, it will go cold. How does a dead body look like? If you touch it, is very cold. Anything that is dead. Because there is no heat, there is no fire in it. So that fiery element is governing here. Swadhisthana, that is a Swa-adhishthana. You can control almost the whole body through this center if you are willing to. Because the fire element exists there. Anyway, then Manipura. Mani means reflections. Correct? What does Mani do? A gem. It reflects light. Previously, what did I say? What is the source of reflection? Is it not moon? Moon is a reflecting agent. And element of moon is always water. Moon always governs the tides of water. So Manipura governs the watery element inside us, which is but the reflection of the supreme waters in space. हम जो नारायणा में नारा बोलते, मैं बोला था last time, उस नारा का physical element is jala, the waters. That is governed by the Manipura chakra. Another reasoning that Master EK gives why this center should be water is that Manipura occurs in the navel center. Okay. Swadhisthana occurs in the abdomen center where spleen is there. Muladhara occurs below the spine. Is it not from the Nabhi or the navel of Vishnu that the Brahma's lotus come? That is a symbolism. Where does lotus exist? Is it not in water? So navel center must be water center as per Veda and the Tantra. Okay. So we take Manipura or the navel center as watery element. From there, this is called the lower triad. What is this? This is the lower triangle, which is relating mostly to the lower regions. How? Base of the spine to the physical matter as well as the support, your weakness, your strengths, all these things. Swadhisthana fire, the fire in us, which maintains the heat, regulations, and all in our body. Manipura, the water, the blood circulation, and these kind of things in our body. The reproductory fluid, the fire in the reproductory fluid, all these are also the lower triad. This is the lower set of chakras. Once these chakras are gone, shall I erase the board?
Yes.
Once these chakras are done, then we have what is known as anahata. Ahata means the sound that follows that comes by beating or from external cause. Anahata means the sound that comes without a cause. That means it's a primordial sound or primordial pulsation in us. So anahata chakra governs the Vayu elements in us. Vayu means not air. What is Vayu, Arjit? I have told many times. What is Vayu? Vayu means pulsation. Pulsation means throbbing nature. The throb to go forward and come backward is the nature of air. It doesn't just flow in one direction. Even if it flows, it will be like oscillatory motion like this. How does sound go? Compressions and rarefactions. So air has the property of oscillation. In our body, we have the properties of these oscillations in heartbeat, lungs breathing, and our excretory organs like the intestines have to go forward and come backward in order to push the things outside. We call that peristalsis movement. Antiperistalsis and peristalsis movements we have in biology. So all these things are governed by Vayu element inside us. Many people think Vayu means air. Wrong. Vayu is the principle which moves the air, which is pulsatory or vibratory in nature. So this anahata, the heart center, this exists in the heart. The heart center governs this element inside us. Okay. Then comes Vishuddhi. Shuddhi and Vishuddhi means the purity. What is the purest thing in the universe? In terms of material creation, space. Nothing can touch space. Neither smell, nor taste, nor touch, nor anything can touch a space. But space is existing in everywhere. Inside us also there is space. But that doesn't affect the space at all. Space is the purest entity in the universe because it is an apparent nothingness, but completeness also, because that is what we call as Purna in the Sanskrit. Purnamada Purnamida Purnat. Have you heard that?
Yes.
That Purna is the completeness or space. So Vishuddhi Chakra or the throat center governs this space, and this acts as a gateway between life and death also. Why? We eat food only through this chakra. We ask if we are hungry, we ask for food through this chakra. We convey our thoughts and we are living this life because of this chakra. So the chakra governs all the things that are related to the existence of our life, which is Vishuddhi. So our uttering of mantra, japa, soham, om, that om thing that I asked you to utter and listen, everything happens. The spiritual evolution happens in the mantra shastra with the Vishuddhi chakra, definitely. So it helps us in that area. If that gateway is closed, what happens? If the chakra stops working, we die. How can we kill a person? In movies we see, they strangle, right? So the center here, when you affect, death comes momentarily. Because this is gateway between the head center and the lower centers. Even when head center is dead, like brain dead, but if this center is working, it still transmits signals to the lower part, and lower part body is still alive. But if you strangle this, Vayu, the air we breathe in, or basically the effect of pulsations, the Anahata chakra gets affected because it is related to the food and air that we take through the Vishuddhi chakra. Therefore, this center is very important. Also, that is the negative side about death, what we spoke. But life, if you speak, we are able to install the initiation, spiritual life into a person, the second birth. Remember, first birth is the material creation. Second birth is the spiritual birth that happens only through the walk, which occurs through the Vishuddhi center. Okay? Without Vishuddhi, nothing will happen. Until here, the Panchabhutas are covered. What are the Panchabhutas, Miraji?
पृथ्वी, जल, वायु, आकाश और अग्नि.
Agni. Once that is covered, what are left? Your mind is left, your blissful self is left. So the mind is governed by the Agnya chakra. Agnya means instruction. The instructions to the lower part occurs through this center, which is at the bro center here. Exactly at the, if you draw a line horizontally here and vertically from the what we call as Brahmarandra in the center of the skull, where these two lines meet, that is the center of the Agnya center. So when we ask to meditate, we have to actually meditate at the center of the brain there. That Agnya center governs mental space. This is physical space, Vishuddhi, that governs the mental space or the cosmic mind or the individual mind. From there, if you ascend, only one thing is left. Now, these six are called the Shat Chakras, 6 chakras. They are the 6 centers. Miraji, these are the 6 centers we have. The 7th is the universal center called the Sahasrara. Sahasra means 1000 or infinite. Ara means spokes. So from that, the infinite rays are emanating from that center. That is called Sahasrara. There exists Shiva. Here exists Shakti. Shakti goes upward as a path of ascent, meets him, then it showers the bliss onto the lower part. That is the, in essence, the summary of chakras. The essence of this Kundalini Yoga is, though normal Tantra Grantha suggests you to start from Mooladhara to Sahasrara, Master Ike suggests it is dangerous to start like this. So what you do, you come from above to below. That means you start at Anahata actually. Open your heart center and start loving and serving humanity. This opens the gateway to the upper triad of the chakras. Once these upper triad, that means when you open up your heart, your word will be purified. When your word is purified, your mind is purified. When all these gateways are open, automatically the light from the above starts descending. The descending light will rectify any problems that exist in the lower centers. Therefore, always start at heart center, not at the Mooladhara. This is the prescription given by masters of the higher order, which makes sense for me. So this is in essence about the chakras, 6 chakras, and the 7th Sahasra Dala Padma. It is 1000 or infinite petaled lotus. Now, what these chakras consists of, how these chakras look like, what elements they govern, what mantras or seed sounds that ignite these chakras, we will learn in the next class. What do you say, Arjit?
Yeah.
Liking Kundalini Yoga?
Yeah.
Okay, that's for today. So, Shantipada by Miraji, because she missed.
शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्यर्यमा शन्नो
इंद्रो
इन्द्रो बृहस्पति शन्नो
विष्णु
अभी याद था सर आप करिए मैं मुझे याद था सवेरे मैंने किया था लेकिन मैं अभी ये नहीं
ओम शं नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शं नो भवत्पर्यमा शं न इंद्रो बृहस्पतिः शं नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि श्रुतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तत्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ